So, hello everyone. Namaste.
Namaste. Namaste. Thank
Hey
you.
guys.
Thank you.
So, today here we are with Oluwa Adams, modern day mystic, and my soul brother from San Francisco. And you have a friend with you today. Can you introduce?
Yes.
Hi, Demari.
Demari.
Okay, guys. So let's talk about a few things. Actually, it's been on my mind to ask you to get into a little bit more into depth about some things that you've mentioned yesterday when we were talking about
Yes.
energy and spirituality and the chakras, and everything was just like very exciting, very interesting.
Yes.
But it looked like 1 hour is definitely not enough to discuss some of these things.
No, definitely not. Not even 3 hours. Not even 7 hours. That's why we have to do series, like series and series of stuff.
Yeah. So let's just right away get into some of these questions. So one thing kind of got my attention when you said in one of the things that we discussed that we all have different levels of energy. So when we're born, we're not like equal in the amount of energy that we carry with us. Can you just get a little bit deeper into it? Like, what does it mean even? And how can we increase our energy or prana? Like, what are your thoughts about that?
Oh, thank you. Good question. But again, your questions are so deep that every question should be like a series. But I'm going to do my best to like encapsulate this and not go to, because of the time factor especially. So, okay, what I meant earlier when I said people are born with different levels of energy is because every body is on different levels of evolution. Some souls have learned some lessons. So it's like some souls are like further on. It's not a linear thing, but it's like a circular thing. Some souls have had more. I think a better way is like more rounds. When you've had the more rounds one has had on one's journey, then naturally you're born with all those energy with you because you have to take it with you. It's you. So it's like somebody has been doing something for a long time. They have more experience, basically. You've learned some lessons, some core lessons, some faster, some slower, you know. So when you're born, you have that being born with you. So that kind of a person will have more kundalini, more mer. Mer is the feminine Pleiadian energy. It's mer, M-E-R. Maybe I shouldn't be saying too much of this mystical stuff. Yeah, but I think we can say mer. The ka is the Syrian, is the other side of the soul. Together they make the individual soul, mer and ka. The ba is the mind, but I always tell people don't use the ba. Because if you use Merkaba, again, this is just my own experience, right? I'm not telling people what to do. Merkaba is like using science to like evolve. But what it does is it keeps that soul on like a long loop of evolution. So I say, why you want to use just use the Mar and your Marka. That means your light and your love. Just use that. Love and light and ascend. But there's a price. The price is you can't control anything. You just surrender. So that's what some beings don't want to surrender. So they keep resisting it. It's like, no, just put more love and light, more love and light, more love and light. Everything just then transforms overnight. Love and light. These are the two things you need. Love and light. If you have both, you're home. Light is masculine, love is feminine. Home. Love and light. Right. So anyway, so that's like a little digression. But the point is, some souls are just born with more energy. But unfortunately, there's not enough mystery schools out there where people are still getting initiated. Most people are born in an area where they don't even know about Kundalini or Mar or Ka, all this stuff. Nobody knows about it. Right. So how do you go in the right direction? That's why I'm saying more and more mystery schools need to be established so that people can have more access. Otherwise people are born with so much energy, but they don't know what to do with it. And when somebody is born with a lot of energy and they don't have direction, that person becomes very dangerous because they're born with all this potential, but it's not being taught or guided. That energy is still there. And if you don't allow somebody to open their hand to show their gift, it remains a fist. And that person will use all that energy to punch on the planet. Like a war leader or some kind of crazy scientist. It's like using those energy, but in a negative way. That's why I'm always saying more mystery schools, because if more people know what they're doing, it's going to be flowing in love and light. Otherwise, so that's why there are many in India, but there needs to be more in the West, because the Western mind is very, as we know, very materialistic. Nothing wrong in that. It's just different direction. One is materialistic, one is so. We just have to encourage people and know this is not voodoo. Well, even voodoo is not bad, but it's not like witchcraft. It's beyond witchcraft. This is wisdom. Just a matter of being initiated. I mean, because once you're born with something, you just need somebody to help you open the door. That's it. It's already there. That's why I tell people nobody can give you enlightenment. Nobody can give you. It's just a matter of somebody can just help you open the door. Somebody can help you. That's all. But you have to enter it.
Okay. And can we do it ourselves without someone?
Of course, I mean, because everybody, yeah, of course you can do it yourself. The only thing is, I tell people is if you want to travel on a journey and somebody has been there, and from that level, they're saying, maybe I could assist you. And you say, no, of course, you don't need their help. But sometimes it helps to make the journey easier. Like some lessons have been learned, you're going to say, okay, maybe you don't need, I mean, you're going to give the person the choice, but you might give them that option. That let's take this road. You know, or you can energetically help if they ask for it. But nobody needs anybody. That's part of what I always say, one of my core teachings. Anybody who tells you you need them, run away, start running.
Right.
Because that means they want to enslave you. Otherwise, it should be freedom. If you want to work with somebody, yeah, the soul says yes or no. But somebody says, you need me. Without me, anybody say without me, just don't let them finish, just start running.
So that's how you get more energy?
Huh?
That's how you get more energy?
What?
Like you just do what you want to do, make you reach your goal?
No, that's not. I'm saying the opposite.
Oh.
Like one has to let the soul have its own choice. Otherwise, if there's no freedom there, that will cause problems.
So freedom
is very important.
Energy.
It means one energy, right? If you have energy, right? Is that what you're saying?
No, because her question, I don't even understand.
Yeah.
But like, just like you were saying,
yeah.
I've never been to a class like that. But
yeah, but you just
in order to build up that energy, like, is it just freedom of choice, freedom to do what you want, or is it?
Oh, I see. Okay.
Meditation and finding peace in myself helps me gain more energy, or being one with nature. Because again, I don't know.
Thank you for that question. No, basically what it is, again, I wouldn't use that word gaining energy. I would say just open. So when one meditates, I mean, another way to describe meditation, if I may go this route, is that okay? Yeah, it is the science of opening yourself up to existence. People are closed. So everything I'm saying, everybody already has it. But because they don't know it, it's like having $1 million and it's hidden in your back. But it's not about you finding that, it's already there. You just have to and open your hands. So that's part of meditation, is about how to open yourself up so that you can really begin to open up. So what's already there, it's like an unfoldment, natural unfoldment. So that's why I say nobody needs anybody. People can just assist you too. So let me show you. Okay, maybe like a fellow traveler who says, "Oh, I've been there. Okay, do you trust me enough?" It takes trust, right? It can't be done without trust because somebody can come and use, So that's why it's a heart-to-heart thing. You either feel it or you don't feel it. So it's not about, it's just about as one meditates, you do the yoga meditation, you expand. And when you expand, it's like you're opening your heart, you open your being. And then you begin to dissolve in existence. Make sense? It's like you open up. People are very tiny because they're living in their ego. The ego is so tiny. So when one is in the ego, it's almost like you turn yourself into like something so tiny. That's basically what ego is. Whereas ego that tiny thing can be used. So that's it. That's why I tell people, don't destroy your ego. Just make sure you become the master of it. That's all. So that you can use that tiny point. Otherwise, the tiny point takes over things, and the result is what we see on the planet.
Okay, well, that makes sense. Actually, yes, my question was how we can increase the energy. And you basically explained that it's not about getting more energy. It's about opening up.
Opening up to the universe, yeah.
The energy that's already can run through you freely, right? So
it's a downpour.
So you say
downpour, all that's happening.
Some people are born, they're like they just blocked off basically. Is that what it is? Like some of us have more openings and some of us are more closed up initially from birth.
Yeah, absolutely. Some people are just born, again, the training of humanity, that's the base of the issue because I like to look at things at the deeper level, like a Scorpio, I can't help. And for me, I always look at the root. The root comes from lack of, when you have a child, the first 7 years are very important to leave the child alone as much as possible. Like let them, because they just came from the spirit world. So let them have their freedom to be as wild. Again, you have to continue so that they don't kill themselves, right? You feed them.
Right.
But as much as possible, don't give them ideas. This is what we do. We're Hindu, we're Christian, all that crap. You can tell them later. Just leave the child alone, as wild as possible. What will happen is that kind of child has a higher chance of awakening faster. Because what happens is they have enough presence still. Because when you introduce words, too much beliefs too early, it's too close to the face. So that being will forget who it is and begin to identify with their beliefs. And that's what's happened to most humanity. They start training them too young, like 2, 3 years old, they start loading. That kind of baby didn't have enough chance to grow enough presence to say, that's your belief, I'll wait till I get mine. I mean, that's the path of a true soul. That's yours. It's good. I'm not gonna take you and enjoy it. But I have what I want to work towards. But because the baby is too soon, so before they know it, they get all this loaded stuff, this and that. So that kind of soul, it's almost like they have like a brick on their chest. The soul literally goes like that to the background. That's why a lot of people act the way. Literally, it's the soul to the background because the brick of the ego. People think the ego is I am important. No, to me, ego just means anything that's not of the moment is ego. If anybody was to ask me what ego is, to simplify it, whatever is not of the moment is ego. So that's why ego is not bad. If your ego were to disappear suddenly because you are enlightened, you can't function. That's what I tell people that are looking for that. I'm like, I've had some experiences where I couldn't tie my shoe. You can't survive it. The ego is the one, it's like your driver, your navigator. It knows what it's doing. You just have to ride it. That's all. The soul is the rider, but who knows how to walk is the horse, is the ride. So the ego is the one that says, okay, go pay your bills. Okay, you need to keep breathing. Okay, you need to do this. That's your ego. Otherwise, he or she who's in the moment as a soul, there's no bank account, there's no partner, there's nothing to do. You're just here now. So to function, the ego then says, okay, you are the being, right? You are here now. You're so present, right? You're in the moment. The ego would then say, tell me when you need me. So whenever there's a need, suddenly the ego will start producing thoughts. Those thoughts are what keeps the ego running. Without thoughts, the ego cannot keep running. That's why people who are very good thinkers oftentimes, they have a harder time. Because the very juice, what keeps the wheel rolling is thought. So when somebody has a lot of thoughts, it's like you're fasting, the thoughts will be endless. So when people have feelings, that's what actually reverses the wheel. That's why I'm often telling people that if you want to really go on the journey faster, I always recommend feeling. Feelings is like it reverses the process. So as you feel, you're going to first feel the pain you have been avoiding. All the pain you haven't dealt with, you're going to feel it. But if you can feel those pain with love, with your heart open, you're home. Boom, home. But thinking is always moving the wheel forward. That's why religions load little kids with beliefs. Because they know that's how you keep the wheel going. So leave the child alone. That's what I say as a mystic. Again, those who have children will say, this guy doesn't have kids. Hey, what is he talking about? I'm only speaking as a mystic, okay? And sometimes it doesn't make sense, but I'm just speaking from my own being. So that's what I would call it. It is. So, and to me, what matters most for children is to know who they are, to wake up. What's more important than that? And then when a child is awake, then they're going to live life whatever way is beautiful, because that light, you create beauty everywhere you go as much as possible. So, but when you give them too much beliefs too young, they can't breathe, literally. Most humans they can't breathe. The beliefs are scary. Because most religions is the opposite to what the baby is feeling. The spirit of the baby is feeling something else. And it's the opposite being given. So it makes the soul go, why did I even bother coming? I can't be myself. That's what most spirits, that's what they're feeling on a deep level. That's why people can breathe. You have to tighten up and just so that you can live a normal life. And I'm like, you can't. If you want to be alive, you just have to risk it and see what happens. You won't go mad, don't worry. People are always afraid of madness. But madness only happens when somebody is in their ego. That's how you go mad. So if one begins to do the work, it's actually the opposite. You actually become less and less mad. But again, that's for mystics. People think it's the other way around. They think the ego is sane. The truth is the ego is mad until it comes under the direction of the soul. It's like a horse that's gone crazy. Right. So the being is the one that says, steady, 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 steady. That's okay. You say this, you think that, you know, the ego begins to like take charge. Otherwise, it's a horse that wants to be the main horse and beat every other horse down without realizing that he or she needs those horses.
Right. Wow, that's very deep, actually.
Yeah, you need the horses. You need the friends. Everybody needs a friend and companion.
Almost, are you talking about innocence?
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. See, innocence. Thank you. I know it. It's innocent. I mean, one of the fragrance of it is innocent. Exactly. It doesn't mean you don't have any view or opinion. I have my views. I have opinion. But behind every opinion, you're going to have your innocence. Like you don't know anything. That space needs it. So some of the work of awakening, we can talk about that now another time, is about removing some of the beliefs. Not all the beliefs have to be removed. It's just taking away enough that the soul can breathe. All those beliefs, they're like a crush. It's too close. So presence begins to radiate, begins to clear the space of the mind so that less thoughts. That's what our presence does. It clears the way. And your heart opening will burn all inferior emotions. That's why as you open your heart, you start feeling more joy. Because that feeling keeps burning any inferior emotion, like something of a lower vibration to burn it. Anyway, that's probably good for now.
No, it's perfect and it makes perfect sense, actually. And you always talk about living in the heart, right? So
yeah, of course.
What does it mean? And is there like a technique we can easily get into the heart, or is it just our awareness, or is it just our intention is enough? Like, is there something that you can recommend to people who are too much in their thinking mind and who have a hard time stepping out of that vicious cycle, you know, the thoughts, how to get back into the center, how to move into the heart space?
Yeah. You know, I often tell people in sessions, some of my friends too, I would say it's like a bird with two wings. One wing is love, one is light. Light is consciousness, that's awareness. The more light you have, the more you just naturally flow towards presence. More. Whereas love tends to move the opposite way. That's part of why people don't understand love. Love tends to move the other way because love has a different interest. Love actually is looking more for, it wants depth. It wants depth. So because whenever something wants depth, it always digs down. That's why love is always move. When you love somebody, eventually you're going to want to move in because you keep wanting to dig. It's like one of the things love likes to dig and find a home for itself. Love wants to express. So because of that, initially they start fighting each other initially. Because the one that wants to keep rising, more and more present, wants to be more free. The one that says, no, the truth is down here. One is saying it's up here, one is saying it's down here. So the path of love, since that's your question, I'll say more about that, is the path of saying, what does love look like? So that's part of why we come as humans. We're here to express what it means to be love. That's why the human body is we have such bodies. We're here to express love. This is love in action planet. Whatever your personality, you're expressing love. So that if one can find a career that is so congruent to oneself, that you just feel like this is my career, that becomes a spiritual path. So you don't even have to worry about love. Love just blossoms in you because you are in the path. So that's why I say that's why as a teacher, I like talking a lot about personality types because sometimes it's like a fast track to find your personality and see. Because once you get that, once you know your primary personality type, you already know your core wound. And once you figure out your core wound on your inner child level, now you can really see it. Then you can see where you're turning the wheel with your thought. You can then reverse it with love. So whatever, that's what I say, is the missing ingredient on the planet is love. And that love is not as weird as people make it look. Like, you need to go find love. I'm like, just do something from your heart, for goodness sake. That's love. It could be waving your beloved's clothes. It could be taking a shower for yourself. And it's so simple. All you have to do is just breathe in, breathe down, push your belly out like you're having a baby. Women who have given birth before, they're very good at it. They've learned it. It's you push your belly out so that you can release. If you can breathe down like a woman giving birth, it's like you're giving birth. And when you're inhaling, you're acting as if you're about to die. That kind of energy is needed. You need that energy, like a lot. You breathe in. That's what I mean by breathing as if you're about to die. You want to, most people are gasping. So it's fear. It's a very subtle level of fear. So if you can just breathe deeply and focus on your heart center, it's very simple. Anybody watching this, just do this right now. Just go into your heart space. Breathe first deeply, and then breathe down into your belly as if you're having a baby. If you already had a baby, this will come natural. And then focus on your heart center. It's so easy because wherever attention goes, energy goes there. It has to. It's one of the cosmic laws. Whatever you pay attention to is going to grow because you're giving it love. If you pay attention to like a tree and you water, it's going to grow to become a big tree. That's attention. So just attention and keep expressing your love. Whatever you're doing, whether you're with your beloved or anything, just act from that center. Of course, you're going to leave it again because you're not used to it. You're going to go back to your mind. Oh, the bills. Oh, shit, I got to do it. My boss is going to kill me. All those thoughts, will pull you out. But again, just breathe again. And then come to your heart. Those moments are what I call some of the heart techniques that I teach sometimes to my clients and students. Some of the very easy techniques because they can be done while you're doing things. Keep returning there maybe twice or 4 times a day to this space or a dozen times. The more you return there, it's like literally you're coming home. That's what Seva originally meant. People think Seva is about going to an ashram and serving a guru. If you go there, that's fine. I'm not against anything, but know that that's not the truth. It's not true at all. From my perspective, the truth is whatever you do from your heart space, that's selfless. That means just your soul is now doing it. That's what selfless means. Less ego involved. So you do it from your heart space, that's selfless. Even if it's just washing your own body. People think washing one's own body is selfish. No. If you wash from your soul level, you're doing selfless service. So at a point when you do more, suddenly you begin to return home, till one day everything you do is done from that heart center. That is what I call coming home. Now everything you say, do, more than likely will have that taste. It doesn't make you perfect. That's why people that worship their teachers and guru, I'm like, stop doing that shit. It's not about worshiping, it's a honor. If you were to bow to your teacher, which is done in the East, before it was done as a sign of respect. I respect you, you respect me. It's mutual. It's not about worshiping, it's a respect. So that's different than worshiping. I'm like, of course, somebody helped you, you can respect, oh, thank you for helping me. And they will say, thank you for allowing me to help you because everybody benefits. Teachers and students, everybody benefits. So we just, oh, thank you, I respect you. Move on, right? Or not, or stay together. So otherwise it's just, oh, you're the best. People will say that guru is the only incarnation of God. I'm like, how stupid. If your guru or only one person is the only, are you kidding me? This universe has big trillions of galaxies once, but it feels good to say that my guru, everybody, but the truth is we are all who we are looking for. You're your own beloved. He is his own beloved, am I all? Because we are all one. We are one.
Right. And since you're touched upon the guru phenomenon.
The sacred topic that everybody knows that we're talking about. It's like a white elephant.
Let's get into that because, okay, I've been in India.
Maybe like a few more minutes because Sorry,
So I'm just saying, because I've been living in India, you know, and I noticed this
okay.
tendency of people just into this guru culture. You know, it's like they don't even want to take responsibility a lot of times to do anything. They just want to go and sit at the Guruji, uh, at the Guru's feet, and get,
Yeah,
you know, get blessings and just go home and live their life thinking
we've
that
all done that
they'll
before.
just be saved by the Guru's grace. And I mean, it's changing now. You know, obviously, we're living in different times right now. It's just a lot of changes. People are starting to accept that responsibility that you do need to do your own work. You can just get blessed by somebody. But there's still a lot of that, especially among the older generation, where they have so much faith into just some person, whether it's an enlightened person, it doesn't even matter. But I feel like my heart is breaking when I see that. It's like they're waiting for something. They're constantly waiting, and they want to go to that ashram. They want to spend time with the Guruji. They get that, maybe they feel replenished
An
by that
addiction.
spiritual energy, you know, and they
It's like
go
an
home and they
addiction.
just. Right. So can you
It's an
comment on
addiction.
that? Like, do you think the tendency is now changing, and how can we accept our power more? Like, about the
Thank
guru,
you.
what is a guru in your definition, actually? Like, what does a guru
Thank you.
mean?
So I'm gonna answer this. Then we're probably gonna continue maybe on Thursday. That would be beautiful. Or yeah,
Okay.
Thursday. Or
Okay.
we can do this. I don't know if we can do this and do it on Facebook Live. I don't know if you know the technology for that. We can do that tomorrow night, or
Okay.
we can do Thursday.
Let's
We
see.
can talk. But I want to respect this time since I already promised 45 minutes. I don't want. I like to keep my word.
Mm,
So I'm gonna answer this topic and then we're gonna continue. Is that okay?
okay.
Now this is
Sounds
like a
great.
core topic that I feel like more needs to be said on it, both
Mm,
ways. Because there are those that are against the guru principle. They're like saying, oh, you don't need the guru, the Krishnamurtis. You know about Krishnamurtis. They don't need the guru. You can just do it yourself. Of course, that appeals to the Western mind that likes, you know, the ego, the mind. I can do
right.
it. But the truth is, oftentimes, those are the ones that I say need gurus the most. The ones actually that often tend to go to the gurus are the often feeling-based people, devotional types.
Mm,
People who are more feminine based. It could be a man or a woman. So they tend to be the ones that want to go, because it's like when you love somebody, you want to be around that person. It's just natural. It doesn't mean every day long, but you want to be with them as much. I mean, it's part of love. I mean, you may need a little time apart for a couple of weeks, but you want to be with that person, you know, in the body. You know? So it's like a love with the teacher or whatever. So I want to stay around that. But the thing is, a teacher has to be very careful. That's where the work comes in. He or she has to be able to reflect back to them their light. He has to. If he or she doesn't do that enough, the devotional will begin to go, they will begin to project their own light into him or her. It's just what people that are feeling based do.
mm,
It's because, you know, the mirror is needed. So the feminine always wants validation from the masculine, you know, and the masculine wants validation from the feminine because it's one. So feeling people are like looking at the guru and it's like, he will help me. I just have to do whatever he or she says. And I'm like, no, that guru, so whenever you tell that teacher that, oh, whatever, he should always say, whatever you see in me is in you, as much as possible, always saying that. Otherwise, it takes incredible compassion to do that. Because at the point the teacher begins to enjoy the adoration, the ego. So it's to keep doing that over and over all day is exhausting for the teacher. Because so some teachers they will stop talking about it. They will just say, you know what, whatever. But the thing is, it doesn't feel good for both parties, the teacher and the taught. It doesn't feel good. It feels sticky again, because now the goal of anything is to expand your heart and your awareness, right? But when people come together in ashram, sometimes they start worshiping the guru or the teacher. What happens is they begin to project their light into him or her, and he will get more and more powerful, more and more, he or she, and then the disciples will start losing their individuality.
okay.
Because the individuality is the preciousness. If anybody tells you to give up your individuality, just start running, because you need it. That is your color, your own particular way of being. And it requires compassion to let it shine. So if a guru gets very powerful, he will start saying, you have to do that, you have to do this, because it becomes a power thing. But if it's a very feminine being that is very compassionate, every time you praise, he or she will just deflect. You say, you are the awesome. Oh, it's the awesomeness in you that see that in me. It gets annoying to the student. It's like, there's a DNA in some humans, and maybe we can talk about that later because I don't want to keep him waiting, that makes people want to follow. Just something, my own observation. People like it. You know why they like it? It takes away responsibility. So not consciously, but a lot of humans want that. They might say they don't want it, but when you look deep enough, they want it. So that's why some people tend to, even when you tell them these things, they're like, no, my guru is different. My guru is different. I'm like, the guru teacher is a principle. It's not about one person. It is a principle. That's what the guru is. Okay. Let me speak about that, and maybe we gotta go now. The guru is a principle. And when I say principle, I'm talking about a level of consciousness. That's what the guru energy, it elevates. That's the guru. It takes one from the root, the guru. That's what the guru is. A guru is somebody who's mastered the whole journey and now can deep down and help people live and lift them up, can help them. But not by saying that I'm doing it, not by directly saying it, just by sitting down, by being in the presence of that person. That happens naturally. People are being elevated, their aura, their energy, but that person should never be worshipped. It just means that person has touched in their growth. They've hit that dimension. And what is that dimension called? It's what I call the Christ principle. The Christ consciousness, that's the energy here. Somewhere here, I'm energetically on top of that there. That's the Christ principle. One who has connected with that, then becomes so, it flows through that person. So that grace is the one doing the work. So everybody has to be aware, is that dimension, that's what's pouring through. So if anybody understands that and they put that in their heart, people will stop worshiping gurus because it's stupid. I'm sorry to be so intense. It's stupid because it's like they're giving their own life to that person. No. This journey is about growing your individuality. That means you have to be very intense and say, this is the path the universe is pulling for me. Just keep following it. And whatever it might take, I'm willing. That's trust. Because that journey takes everybody home. There's only one, all of us, I don't care who it is. We're all going in one direction, home. That's it. We're all going to the same place, just at different paces. You know?
On that note, I think it's a very deep subject.
It's just a joke. The whole thing is a cosmic joke.
So let's, I know you have to go. I don't want to hold you up. So let's,
we can continue tomorrow.
Let's discuss this. Let's just kind of continue on the same note tomorrow, because this is very interesting. And I want to talk more about individuality. And
put all those notes, because I won't remember this tomorrow. You have to ask me afresh tomorrow.
I will keep it in my head. And there's
cool.
a few things that are already coming up that we can discuss. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, my brother, for being here with us, enjoying and being patient.
Yes.
And thank you for doing this work. Thank you for spreading the awareness, the love. Keep shining. Blessings, my sister.
Blessings. We'll talk soon. Namaste.
Blessings. Take care. All the best. Yay.